So I wanted to continue the video about the EDC here in Venezuela. I wanted to tell you about some details. I haven't got a chance to, unpack each one. Actually, I am trying to get actually a new bag because this one is quite heavy and quite big, and I don't know, it's kind of weird because another person told me the other day that one, because it's kind of, it looks nice even though it's kind of broken in the inside, but it looks very nice, and it's kind of flashy in the sense that most people like that one, even though that, I have it and it's broken and everything, but so I'm trying to get a new one. About the EDC here, tips that you should probably consider when you're walking in a neighborhood that that is not going to be as good or whatever. Number one is the fact that you have this part that flips to the inside. Sometimes they don't have a zipper, sometimes they will just be open wide like that, and you need this part to go towards your inner thigh, as in it's in your hip, not towards the outside. Why is that? Well, because if somebody is going to take something from your inside, it's going to be difficult for them to access if this thing is tight against your leg, as opposed to if it is outside, they will just go like that and nobody will notice. And so number one is about that. Number two, you also want to consider that some materials, some purses and some stuff are now being sold with wires in the inside of the strap, and those wires make it so that if somebody grabs a knife and tries to cut this thing to take it off of you, they won't be able to do that because of the wire. And actually, I have seen one, I haven't seen anymore, and I don't know him, so I cannot go and ask him to do this for me. But I have seen one guy that will take wires, and he will put it in this, and then he will sew it, and then he will put a new one in there. And so you can do that to your old bag. I don't know how he does it because I don't know how to sew, and that will be a great addition to these things. And also, by the way, I have seen several, and I do mean several people in not this country. I have seen people in Peru and Bolivia and Chile and here and in other places where they know that they cannot take this from you. So what they do is they take a knife and they will cut this part, and then they will grab the whole thing. So let's say that you're walking and somebody will notice the shape of the bag, and they will try to do a very good guess as to where do you have your wallet in the inside. So if your wallet, say that it's a square or whatever, and it forms like a bump, and he knows that the wallet is in here, so he will take a knife and then he will go like that and cut it and grab it and then run or walk, and you will not notice until you get home. So you have to be aware of that. So how do you fix that? I have seen several people that they will take an inside the bag, they will put an extra bag, like a black trash bag or something like that, and then they will use like tape or whatever, and then they will put it inside for two reasons. Number one, you can make it waterproof in the inside, and number two, you can avoid having that problem, because if he cuts, he will have to cut the second part, and that's kind of more difficult because they are not attached to one another, so the space is kind of different and it's difficult. It's not impossible that he will get it, but it's more difficult because it's not the same cutting one layer than cutting two layers that are not attached to one another. So it's kind of better. And the third, actually, another point about EDCs here and other places as well. some people are taking messenger bags, not this kind of bag, but that kind of bag, messenger bag. They will cut it they will cut a little bit this part, and they will put the X-ray material kind of, I don't know how you call that plastic thing, but they will put 2 or 3 layers of that thing, and then they will sew it, and it makes it kind of secure against knife, and also if you have more than 8, it might stop a small bullet. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. I have seen many guys that live in very bad neighbors that they do that because they want to be able to use that thing to protect themselves. I have no idea how they do it, but like I said, I don't even know if it works, but I do know that when there were several protests and riots and stuff like that, a lot of people were looking for that kind of material, and then they will just cut them, putting them in the chest and in the clothes, and they will sew in it, because they say that if you put 8 up to 10, 8 or 10, those things, one attached to the other with a little bit of space, or I don't know if they put plastic or something in them, but it will help if you want to make it that way, and I'm not saying that you should always be scared about using your EDC or whatever, but I am saying that if you are in a situation in which your EDC is going to be valuable, and therefore probably somebody will want to get it, then you want to try to protect it as much as you can, and you want to make it look kind of worthless so that nobody will take it from you. And so those tips will help you. Also, I have seen a bag that the Brickworth Farms, the lady there on the other YouTube channel, she made a video about a messenger bag that she bought from PackSafe, and the bag had several kinds of locks, like the things that connect this thing. For instance, if somebody wants to open this one, they can do it easily. But with that bag from PackSafe, this thing is attached to something in here. So if you want to open this, you cannot unless you get that one, the safety pin or something. And that way, nobody will be able to pickpocket you many things, which is very, very, very important, especially if you're working in a crowd, because you want your bag to look normal, but to have security pins included in the design, or maybe if you know how to sew and how to do these things, you can do it yourself. I have no idea, because like I said, I don't know how to sew. I am not a fashion designer, and usually, I don't even like wearing stuff that is flashy. But anyway, that's just me. Thank you for watching. I hope that you will find these tips helpful. If you have some questions, I might be able to answer them, but like I said before in other videos, I don't have access to internet and stuff like that all the time. And if you want to help the channel, I am linking my email, so that if you want, you can send an Amazon card or whatever. I just want you to have this information, because other people in the YouTube community are doing it, and very little people that are doing this are women. And especially women in places that are kind of like in an apocalyptic situation in which there is no power, no water, or whatever. And so most women will carry a lot of makeup, which most women will carry a lot of things that may not be considered important in a situation in which you are experiencing a shortage of a lot of things, and you might want to consider doing them in a kind of like a priority thing. So thank you very much. Bye.